Welcome to RANsquawk's midday rundown for Tuesday, 20th of October 2009. Today's been pretty much two stories. That's in foreign exchange, the various calls we've heard from Eurogroup members, as well as the likes of Russia's central bank we've just seen, and also China as well have heard market rumours. They're all supporting the dollar and the strength of the global reserve currency. And elsewhere, much of the story yesterday obviously was after market. We saw Apple a shot higher in extended hours, over 5%. That was after Q4 EPS came in at $1.82, way above the estimate of $1.43. Revenues were also stronger, and they made record sales in terms of Macs and iPhones in the fourth quarter. Did see, though, at the European get-go, a bit of profit taking overall. Of course, we were trading up at around 12-month highs, so we are negative at the moment in the UK and European bourses. Allied as well at the open of the European stock markets. Did see some comments coming out of Barclays. We've seen Qatari, who is obviously a big investor within the UK bank, saying they were selling some $397 million of shares, obviously making quite a handsome sum in terms of their recent investment in the bank. In turn, though, with that money that Qatari is looking to recoup out of Barclays' stake sale, some market speculation is they're going to use that money to bid for Sainsbury's, something we saw last week, which did see, or the speculation saw Sainsbury's shares jump. And again, Sainsbury's are outperforming the markets within the FTSE 100, one of the best performers today there. Taking a look as well after market, we did also see Texas Instruments report Q3 EPS at 42 cents above the estimate of 40. Revenues were also a shade better than expected, so pretty good in those tech earnings. But again, to reiterate, we did see some profit taken in Europe this morning, particularly in that tech sector. Elsewhere, in regards to these dollar comments, we've seen Fed's Bernanke saying the performance of the dollar and the US economy will depend on the government's success in controlling the country's budget deficits. But elsewhere, Trichet said he notes the US stable and strong dollar being in the interest of the US, with Eurogroup sharing the US views on a stronger dollar. We've just seen as well Russia saying not seeing any switching out of the dollar in terms of the pricing for oil, something we've heard reiterated as well by the Gulf states in the last 2 weeks or so. As well on that front, worth noting that WTI crude futures in the late Asian, early European morning had been trading above $80. That's the first time it has been for 2009. But as mentioned, as the European equities did tick lower in early trade, WTI has pared back slightly and is in minor negative territory. In terms of earnings pre-market, we've already seen a couple hit the wires, in particular DuPont and United Health. They both beat on the EPS by a considerable margin. Sales were also stronger as they reaffirmed their forecasts. A couple of biggies though we are looking out for. They do include the bellwether stock Caterpillar. We're also looking out for Pfizer from the US, as well as Lockheed Martin, Biogen, State Street, Coca-Cola and United Health. They're all due to report pre-market today. In terms of the actual data, we'll be looking out for the ICSC chain store weekly numbers at 12:45 London time. 1:30s from the US today is PPI, housing starts, building permits and Canadian leading indicators. So again at 7:30 in Chicago. That'll be followed by Red Book just before 2 in London, and then we'll get the Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 2 o'clock. That'll be 8 in Chicago. Elsewhere, we'll have the API all inventory numbers. They're due after market today, and speaker-wise, Fed's Walsh alongside a Bank of England reverse auction is due this afternoon.